Hello, everyone, and welcome back to EasyTalk English. We're so glad you're here with us today. Whether you're listening in the morning, during a break, or at night after a long day, take a deep breath. This episode might feel very relatable.
Let me start with a simple question. Have you ever felt tired, but not just physically tired? Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but a deeper kind of exhaustion.
Maybe you sleep 8 hours, but you still wake up feeling heavy. Maybe you finish your tasks, but you don't feel satisfied. You just feel drained.
Today, we're talking about burnout. And if you've ever felt constantly exhausted, unmotivated, or emotionally empty, this conversation is for you.
Burnout is more common than we think. Many people experience it. Students, workers, parents, business owners, but not many people talk about it openly.
Sometimes you're not lazy. You're just exhausted.
Yes, that sentence is important. When we feel burned out, we often blame ourselves. We think we're not trying hard enough. But burnout is not about laziness. It's about energy, emotional and mental energy.
In today's episode, we'll explore what burnout really feels like, why it happens, and most importantly, how to recover in a healthy way.
This will be a calm and honest conversation. No judgment, just understanding.
If you enjoy real-life conversations that help you improve your English naturally, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to EasyTalk English.
Now, let's talk about feeling burned out and how to take your energy back. So Alex, can I be honest? This week felt really long. I know it was only 5 days, but it felt like 10.
Oh no, what happened?
Nothing dramatic. I just feel drained. You know that feeling when you wake up and you already feel tired? That was me almost every morning this week.
Even after sleeping?
Yes, that's the strange part. I thought I just needed sleep, so I tried to go to bed earlier. But even when I rest, I still feel tired. It's not just physical.
I understand that. Sometimes the body rests, but the mind doesn't.
Exactly. And I don't feel motivated lately. I sit down to work and I just stare at the screen. I'm not excited, I'm not focused, I just feel empty.
That sounds really hard. For me, it's been my schedule. I've been so busy. Meetings, messages, emails, and I'm always checking my phone.
Even at night?
Yes, I tell myself, just one quick check, but then I see a message and I start thinking about work again. It's difficult to relax. My brain never really turns off.
I think that's a big problem for many people. We don't give ourselves real rest anymore.
True, and when I finally have free time, I don't know what to do with it. I just scroll on my phone, and afterward, I don't feel better.
Yes, that happens to me too. I keep thinking, why am I still so tired? I thought I just needed sleep, but now I'm starting to think it's something deeper.
What do you mean?
I realized I wasn't just tired, I was emotionally exhausted.
That's a powerful sentence.
It surprised me when I said it out loud, because we often say, I'm tired, but sometimes it's more than that. It's not just your body. It's your feelings, your thoughts, your energy.
Yes, when you're emotionally exhausted, small things feel heavy. Simple tasks feel difficult.
Exactly. Even replying to messages feels like too much, and I start blaming myself. I think, why can't I just be more productive?
I think many people feel this way, but don't talk about it. They think it's normal, or they think they're just not strong enough.
But maybe it's not about strength. Maybe it's about balance.
I agree. Being busy all the time, always connected, always thinking about the next task, it slowly takes away our energy.
And the scary part is we don't notice it immediately. It builds up slowly. One long week, then another, and suddenly we feel completely drained.
So maybe the question isn't just, are you tired? Maybe the real question is, are you burned out?
That's what we're going to explore next, because understanding the difference can change everything.
So Linda, let's start with a simple but important question. What exactly is burnout?
That's a good place to begin. Burnout is emotional and mental exhaustion. It's not just feeling sleepy or physically tired, it's deeper than that.
So it's more than saying, I had a long day.
Yes, much more. When you're physically tired, usually rest helps. You sleep, you take a break, and you feel better. But with burnout, rest doesn't always fix the problem.
That's an important difference. Being tired is temporary. Burnout feels long-term.
Exactly. Burnout happens when stress continues for too long without real recovery. It slowly drains your emotional energy.
So, how can someone know if they're just tired or actually burned out?
Let's compare. If you're tired, you might say, I need a good night's sleep. But if you're burned out, you might say, I don't feel motivated anymore. When you're tired, you still care about your goals. When you're burned out, you start feeling disconnected from them.
Disconnected. That's a strong word.
Yes, many people describe burnout as feeling numb. They don't feel excited, they don't feel inspired. Sometimes they don't even feel sad. They just feel nothing.
That sounds heavy.
It is. Another sign is irritability. Small things suddenly feel very annoying. A simple question from a coworker might feel overwhelming.
I've experienced that. When I'm overwhelmed, even small problems feel big.
That's because your emotional energy is low. Imagine your energy like a phone battery. If it's at 80%, you can handle messages, calls, and apps easily. But if it's at 5%, even one notification feels stressful.
That's a very clear example.
Burnout also affects motivation. You might think, why am I doing this? Tasks that used to feel meaningful now feel pointless.
So burnout changes how you see your work, and maybe even yourself.
Yes, and that's why it's important to talk about it. Burnout is not weakness, it's not laziness. It's a sign that your mind and emotions have been under pressure for too long.
So, to summarize, burnout is emotional and mental exhaustion. It's different from normal tiredness. It includes signs like lack of motivation, irritability, and feeling numb.
Exactly. And the sooner we recognize it, the sooner we can start healing.
Now that we understand what burnout is, let's talk about the signs. How can someone recognize it in their daily life?
One of the biggest signs is feeling drained all the time, not just after work, but all the time. You wake up tired, you go through the day tired, you go to bed tired.
Like your energy never fully comes back.
Exactly. You might say, I'm running on empty. It feels like your battery is always at 10%.
I remember a time when I kept telling myself, it's just a busy month. But that month turned into 3 months, and I kept feeling emotionally exhausted.
That's another important sentence. I feel emotionally exhausted. When you feel that way, it's not just your body, it's your feelings and your mind.
Another sign is losing interest in things you used to enjoy.
Yes, maybe you loved reading, exercising, or meeting friends, but now when someone invites you out, you think, I don't enjoy this anymore.
That can feel scary, because you start wondering, what's wrong with me?
Exactly. But often it's not that you changed as a person, it's that you're overwhelmed. When you feel overwhelmed, even fun activities feel like tasks.
I had a friend who loved cooking. It was her favorite hobby. But during a stressful period at work, she stopped cooking completely. She said, I just feel stuck. I don't have the energy.
That word, stuck, is very common with burnout. You want to move forward, but you don't feel capable. You want to feel excited again, but you can't find the feeling.
Another sign is becoming impatient or easily annoyed.
Yes, small things suddenly feel big. Maybe someone talks too loudly or asks a simple question, and you feel irritated.
And later you think, why did I react like that?
Because your emotional energy is low. When you're burned out, your tolerance decreases. You don't have the capacity to handle extra stress.
There's also the feeling of disconnection.
Yes, you might feel disconnected from your work, from other people, even from yourself. You go through the day on autopilot. You complete tasks, but you don't feel present.
Almost like you're watching your life instead of living it.
That's a powerful way to describe it.
And what about sleep? That's confusing sometimes.
Burnout can affect sleep in different ways. Some people sleep too much but still feel tired. Others have trouble sleeping because their mind doesn't stop thinking.
So even at night, the stress continues.
Yes. And over time, all these small signs connect. I feel emotionally exhausted. I don't enjoy this anymore. I feel overwhelmed. I feel stuck. I'm running on empty.
If someone relates to several of these sentences, it might be time to pause and reflect.
Exactly. Recognizing the signs is not weakness, it's the first step toward change.
So if burnout is emotional and mental exhaustion, the next question is, why does it happen?
Burnout usually doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly. One of the biggest reasons is overworking.
Working long hours?
Yes, long hours, no breaks, always thinking about the next task. When we work without enough recovery time, our energy keeps going down. At first, we can handle it, but over time, it catches up with us.
And sometimes overworking isn't only about time. It's also about mental pressure.
Exactly. High expectations are another big cause. Maybe your boss expects a lot. Maybe your family expects a lot. Or maybe you expect too much from yourself.
That self-pressure can be very strong. Wanting to be perfect, wanting to succeed, not wanting to fail.
Yes, when your standards are always very high, you rarely feel satisfied. Even when you do well, you think, I could have done better. That constant pressure drains emotional energy.
What about boundaries?
Lack of boundaries is a huge factor. If you say yes to everything, your schedule becomes full. If you answer messages at night, your mind never rests. If you don't separate work time and personal time, everything mixes together.
So without boundaries, there's no clear time to recharge.
Exactly. And that connects to people-pleasing. Many people are afraid to disappoint others, so they agree to extra tasks. They take on more responsibility. They don't say no.
But every yes to others can become a no to yourself.
That's very true. If you always focus on making others happy, you might ignore your own needs, and slowly that leads to exhaustion.
Another cause is not having real rest.
Yes, real rest means your body and your mind relax, but many of us don't experience that anymore. We stop working, but we scroll on our phones. We watch something while thinking about tomorrow's tasks.
So technically, we're not working, but we're not fully resting either.
Exactly. Burnout often happens when stress is constant and recovery is missing.
So overworking, high expectations, weak boundaries, people-pleasing, and no real rest, all of these slowly drain our emotional battery.
Yes, and when we understand the causes, we can begin to make small but important changes.
We've talked about the signs and the causes. Now let's look at something very practical, how burnout changes our behavior.
Yes, because sometimes we don't notice burnout directly. We only notice that our behavior is different.
For example, procrastination.
Exactly. When you're burned out, even small tasks feel heavy. You look at your to-do list and think, I'll do it later. But later never feels easier.
So it's not laziness, it's low emotional energy.
Right. Another common behavior is avoiding messages. You see a notification, but you don't open it. You think, I can't deal with this right now.
I've done that. Not because I don't care, but because I feel overwhelmed.
That's the key word. When you feel overwhelmed, your brain tries to protect you by avoiding more pressure.
Burnout can also make people more negative.
Yes, you might start focusing only on problems. Small mistakes feel like big failures. You complain more, you feel frustrated more easily.
And sometimes you lose confidence.
That's very common. You start doubting yourself. You think, maybe I'm not good enough. Even if you were confident before, burnout can slowly reduce your belief in yourself.
I remember hearing someone say, I used to love this job. Now I just feel numb.
That sentence is powerful. When you feel numb, it means you're emotionally disconnected. You're still doing the work, but the passion is gone.
And when that happens, some people want to quit everything.
Yes, they think changing jobs, moving to a new city, or starting over completely will solve the problem. Sometimes change is helpful, but sometimes the real issue is burnout, not the job itself.
So burnout doesn't just make you tired. It changes how you act, how you think, and how you see your life.
Exactly. That's why it's important to pause and ask, is this really who I am, or am I just exhausted?
That question alone can bring a lot of clarity.
Yes, because behavior is often a signal, and burnout sends many signals if we're willing to notice them.
So if someone realizes they're burned out, the big question is, how do they recover?
The first step is real rest. Not just stopping work, but truly resting. That means putting your phone away, not checking emails, not scrolling for hours.
So rest that actually restores energy.
Exactly. Scrolling might feel relaxing, but your brain is still processing information. Real rest can be a quiet walk, listening to calm music, journaling, or simply doing nothing for a few minutes.
That sounds simple, but it can be difficult.
It is. That's why another important step is setting boundaries. For example, choosing a time in the evening when you stop working, or deciding not to answer messages after a certain hour.
That connects to saying no.
Yes. Saying no can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to pleasing others, but sometimes you need to say, I need a break, or I need to slow down.
Those are powerful sentences.
They are, and they remind you that your limits are important. Burnout often happens when we ignore our limits for too long.
What about small daily habits?
Small resets can make a big difference. For example, taking 5 deep breaths between tasks, stretching your body, drinking water, stepping outside for fresh air. These simple actions tell your nervous system that you are safe and allowed to pause.
So recovery doesn't have to be dramatic.
Not at all. It can be slow and gentle. You can remind yourself it's okay to rest, or my energy matters.
I like that. My energy matters.
Because it does. If your energy is empty, you can't give your best to work, relationships, or even yourself.
And what about talking to someone?
That's very important. Burnout feels heavier when you carry it alone. Sharing your feelings with a friend, a family member, or even a professional can bring relief. Sometimes just saying the words out loud makes it clear. Yes. And remember, recovery takes time. You can tell yourself, I can rebuild slowly. You don't have to fix everything in 1 week.
So real rest, boundaries, saying no, small daily resets, and talking to someone.
Exactly. Healing from burnout is not about pushing harder. It's about caring for your energy in a new way. Let's review 8 important words from today's episode. We'll take turns. One person explains one word completely, meaning example and repeat, then the other continues with the next word. First word, burnout, meaning a state of emotional and mental exhaustion caused by long-term stress. Example, I experienced burnout after working long hours for many months. Repeat, burnout.
Second word, exhausted, meaning extremely tired, either physically or emotionally. Example, I feel exhausted even after a full night of sleep. Repeat, exhausted.
Third word, drained, meaning having almost no energy left. Example, after that stressful week, I felt completely drained. Repeat, drained.
Fourth word, overwhelmed, meaning feeling like something is too much to handle. Example, I feel overwhelmed when I have too many responsibilities at the same time. Repeat, overwhelmed.
Fifth word, boundary, meaning a limit you set to protect your time, space, and energy. Example, I set a boundary by not answering work messages after 8 p.m. Repeat, boundary.
Sixth word, motivation, meaning the desire or reason to do something. Example, I lost my motivation when I started feeling burned out. Repeat, motivation.
Seventh word, pressure, meaning stress or strong expectations from yourself or others. Example, I feel a lot of pressure to always perform well. Repeat, pressure.
Eighth word, rest, meaning time to relax and recover energy. Example, I need real rest, not just time on my phone. Repeat, rest.
Great work. Try to use at least 2 of these words in your own sentences today.
The more you repeat and practice, the more natural your English will become.
Now it's time for a short speaking practice. If you can, say the sentences out loud. Speaking helps your confidence grow.
We'll say a sentence first, then you repeat after us.
I feel tired lately.
Repeat. I feel tired lately.
I feel emotionally exhausted.
Repeat. I feel emotionally exhausted.
I need a break.
Repeat. I need a break.
I need to set boundaries.
Repeat. I need to set boundaries.
It's okay to rest.
Repeat. It's okay to rest.
Very good. Now let's move to short speaking questions. Take a moment to think. You can pause this episode and answer out loud.
First question. When was the last time you felt burned out?
Pause here. Think about your answer. Try to use one vocabulary word from today.
Second question. What helps you recharge?
Is it sleep? Exercise? Talking to a friend? Quiet time alone? Pause again and answer in full sentences.
There's no perfect answer. Just practice expressing your real thoughts.
The more honestly you speak, the more natural your English will feel.
Before we finish today's episode, let's take a quiet moment to reflect.
Burnout is not laziness. If you've been feeling drained, unmotivated, or emotionally exhausted, it doesn't mean you are weak. It means you've been carrying too much for too long.
Yes, rest is not something you earn only after finishing everything. Rest is productive. When you allow yourself to recover, you protect your energy for the long term.
And you are not weak for feeling exhausted. You are human. Everyone has limits. Ignoring those limits doesn't make you stronger. It only makes you more tired.
Maybe today is a good day to ask yourself a simple question. What would change if you respected your energy more?
Would you sleep earlier? Would you say no more often? Would you take real breaks instead of scrolling? Small changes can create big differences over time.
If this episode felt relatable, we'd love to hear from you. In the comments, finish this sentence. I recharge by...
Sharing your answer might also inspire someone else.
And if today's conversation helped you reflect or learn new English expressions, don't forget to like this episode.
We'll subscribe to join us for more real-life English conversations that support both your language and your life.
We'll leave you with this thought.
You don't need to push harder.
Sometimes you need to pause.